is that's a team that have really struggled this season. They've been awful at the back. The likes of Marcus Rashford, who I think needs more goals right now. Not in desperate need, but I would like to see him score a few goals on Thursday night. Martial desperately needs goals. He desperately needs goals because we're already only seeing maybe Cavani less than a handful of times. And I want him starting games ahead of Martial already. And I'm pretty sure when Cavani was signed, that was not my plan at all. I was thinking because of Martial finished last season on such a high scoring goals, I was hoping again he would kick on. Now that hasn't happened. He is back in the French squad, but I reckon it won't be too long before Deschamps pulls him out and makes United the reason for that.
Yeah, but also Deschamps doesn't really pick that squad on club form, does he, Dale?
No, he doesn't.
Otherwise, a certain midfielder whose name rhymes with Ogba would not be in the team.
Speaking about Pogba, Mino Raiola came out recently again and literally announced that Pogba was unhappy at Manchester United, which everyone knows. The problem being it was the night before the game against Leipzig. Timing was awful. And I think even the demeanour of Raiola's message pretty much undermined the manager, the club, his teammates, everyone. But Pogba has chosen not to really address this. He doesn't see a problem with what Raiola has said. There is probably no problem. It's probably all truthful. It's all factual. He wants to leave Manchester United. But what do we do about a player that is publicly having his agent throwing his weight around? And this is the thing. Solskjaer has clearly decided that he's going to keep playing him. Paul Pogba is also in a situation where he needs to perform to get the move in which he wants. I really don't think, Mike, there's going to be many clubs that are going to be knocking on the door to sign him in the summer. Or it won't happen in January. I reckon it'll happen in the summer. But another thing I want to throw to you is, with the current market and how it's all a bit complicated right now, and there's potentially going to be more loan deals and maybe swap deals. If Juventus were to come to Manchester United with an offer, which I think will happen, who would you take from the Juventus starting lineup to come to Manchester United that you think that they will let leave? Because there's a certain 35, 36-year-old who has been linked with an exit from Turin. And I think there will be a few Manchester United fans that believe he would offer more than what Paul Pogba has offered in the past 4 years.
It's not hard. I think you would offer more than what Paul Pogba in the last 2 years. I've been saying for a year we should get rid of this guy. You've been saying for 2 years we should get rid of this guy. I echo what Jamie Carragher said on Sky Sports Monday Night Football the other week. He's the most overrated footballer I've ever seen. He is. He's not as good as he thinks he is. Basically, take what Patrice Evra says about Paul Pogba, the opposite is true. He's a great talent, but he's 27 years old, Dale. I think at this point we acknowledge this guy will never fulfill his talent. Any club, because as much as Zinedine Zidane wants Paul Pogba, Florentino Perez does not want him at Real Madrid, and neither do the sporting directors at Real Madrid either. Partly because Florentino Perez doesn't think he's worth the money, and also because Florentino Perez does not deal with Mino Raiola. There is not one single Mino Raiola client playing at Real Madrid because he doesn't like dealing with him. And it's the same with Barcelona, by the way. They won't deal with him either because they felt they had issues with him with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So they just don't have him. So the only realistic options that he has are Juventus and Real Madrid. I'm still not sure I'd take Ronaldo, although to be honest, I think he could still do it in the Premier League. I've got no qualms about that. I think we talked about this about 2 years ago, I think, on the pod, and I said absolutely definitively no. But if it was offered in a swap, if the finances are right, I wouldn't say no. A part of me wonders that I'd rather have Paulo Dybala, which is another player that they're sort of looking to get off the books because he's a bit younger, and I really like Dybala. I think he's a really, really good player, and I think he'd be really good in the Premier League, actually. He reminds me a little bit of Juan Mata, but he's got pace, obviously, that Mata doesn't have. Bless him.
Have they any centre-backs that they might give up?
I Well, the one that you would take would be, I think it's Demirel, the Turkish centre-back. He's a really good centre-half, but I don't think they'd give him up because he's pretty much a first pick for them. And then obviously the other youngish centre-half they have is De Ligt. And should we guess who his agent is? And also De Ligt doesn't solve one of the problems United have, which is a lack of pace in defence. De Ligt is not quick, Dale.
Can you imagine him and Harry Maguire?
Jesus, let's not even think about that. So he really wouldn't fill that gap at the back. God, I mean, if Chiellini was even 5 years younger, I'd take him tomorrow, right? Wouldn't you? He's so good. You know, had they had a 31 or even 32-year-old Andrea Barzagli, I'd have gone, yeah, we'll take him. Great. Bonucci, I think he's overrated. I don't think he's that good. Certainly defensively, he's not that great. But yeah, it would have been Demirel, but you'd never get him. So you're looking at Dybala. I mean, in an ideal world, Dale, I'd take Rodrigo Bentancur, the holding midfielder that they have, because he's brilliant. He's a phenomenal footballer. But I don't think Juve would be silly enough to let him go. He's become a first-choice player for him this season. Pirlo really likes him. But Pogba's options are really limited. Like, if I was only going to Solskjaer, and this is something I think I may have said to you, that I think he's been too soft on players that are letting him down time and time again. David De Gea should not be first pick anymore. I don't care how much money he's on. Dean Henderson should be getting a run in the team because De Gea keeps letting him down. Like, when it seems like he picks up, he drops another error and he lets him down. Paul Pogba keeps letting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer down on and off the pitch. People laying into Mino Raiola, and again, I thought Gary Neville went a bit soft on Pogba, saying his agent, this, his agent, that. Mino Raiola is not doing anything his client is not telling him to do. Look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Mino Raiola does not speak out like this when it comes to Zlatan Ibrahimovic because Zlatan is not beholden to Ibra. Ibra's not beholden to Mino Raiola in the same way that Paul Pogba or Gigi Donnarumma, the Milan goalkeeper, one of his other clients, is.